Okay, hi everybody. My name is Jim Valentine, just like Valentine's Day, and I'm the director of the American Language Institute at USC. Welcome. I'm glad you were able to come today. We're going to be having a pronunciation workshop, particularly focused, and you'll know more about this after the presentation, on the area of intonation. And our two presenters are Barry Griner, and this next name will be a pronunciation task in Greek. It's Tzoytzoyrakos, or more or less. She can correct my pronunciation later. So, and Barry and Tessie are longtime faculty members at the ALI, and I've known them for many years now. They have extensive expertise in the area of pronunciation and oral skills in general, and many, many years of teaching experience. I personally can testify to Tessie's and Barry's general kindness and their ability to create a very safe and enjoyable learning environment, which in particular is rather important in an area like pronunciation, where you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. You need to be making a lot of mistakes or you're not going to be making progress. So it's wonderful to have teachers with whom you feel extremely comfortable, that you feel, I can do whatever I need to do to progress, and it will be fine. And I can not only can I testify that, but having read many, many, many years of student testimonials and evaluations, I can tell you this is also the case for students. Amazingly so. Finally, I wanted to emphasize, you'll know more afterwards, but we're going to focus on basically two different approaches to pronunciation today. Barry is going to be presenting on perhaps what might be called a more conventional approach, not that he is conventional, but conventional approach to pronunciation. And Tessie's going to be sharing her experience in teaching pronunciation and oral skills through theater and drama. And both these courses are going to be actually offered in the summer if you happen to have the time and interest. So now I'd like to introduce Thuy Pham, who is the ALI's international student advisor. She is going to be, if you have questions about issues like the ALI in general, registration, you can put those into the chat and she will be answering those along the way. For those questions more directly related to pronunciation that you'll be learning, the pronunciation techniques you will be learning, or about specific classes or anything, that would be better to wait till the end, and the two presenters, excuse me, will be able to share at that time. Okay, and that's it from my end, I think. Go on, guys. Good luck.
Muted. There we go. Thank you very much, Jim, for that kind introduction. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about, first of all, pronunciation in general. So Tessie, can you change the slide there? Yeah, thank you. All right. So we have two pronunciation courses at ALI 242 and 252, and both of them primarily focus on intelligibility, and which is basically, you want people to understand you. When you go out for coffee or whatever, you're talking to your professor, you don't want to get that kind of question mark face, like, huh, what? That can get tiring, right? So we focus mainly on intelligibility, but we also take a look at issues related to fluency. So first of all, let's take a look at what is intelligibility that we focus on. Well, the three main things are vowels, consonants, and word stress. And depending on your accent, you may have quite a range of the vowels that you may use. I'm come from a part of the US that has a lot of vowels. So I have about 24, 25 vowels. Californians have a few less than I do. But generally, Americans have a range of about 17 to 25 vowels. And for lots of students, that's a hard thing. And part of intelligibility is getting to know all those different vowels. Same thing with consonants, learning the 24, 25 consonants and their different variations that you may hear in American English. And then word stress, things like the difference between desert and dessert. You definitely want to eat dessert. You don't really want to eat a desert, right? Because you'd have a mouthful of sand. When we get to fluency, we're talking about different issues. We're talking about, for example, controlling the speed at which you speak. If you talk too fast, people might not be able to follow you. If you talk too slow, people might get bored. Being able to vary that pace. We also talk about rhythm. Languages have kind of a different rhythm system. So some are timed by syllable, some are timed by stress, some are timed by mora, which is a kind of Japanese timing system. And in order to keep the timing in a stress-timed language like English, we have a lot of modifications we do in connected speech. So this is all part of fluency. Now, in between those two, intelligible fluency, is the idea of intonation, because it kind of falls under both. If you use the wrong intonation, you may obscure intelligibility. If you use the wrong intonation, you may make your speech less fluent or kind of boring or irritable, right? So today we're going to focus on intonation. And first, I'm going to kind of take a little technical look at it, just kind of some background information about intonation. And then Tessie's going to take some time and practice with you, taking her background in theater and helping you kind of express yourself using some theatrical practice, right? All right, so first of all, let's talk about what is intonation. So intonation is the kind of rising and falling of your pitch in speech. So I'm going higher, I'm going lower, I'm going higher, I'm going lower. This is intonation. And that melody, that kind of ups and downs, affects not only meaning, but also your intention and your emotion. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Right? So all of that is encapsulated in intonation. And when I teach students about intonation, or when we teach students about intonation, there are several things we take a look at. We talk about pitch range. We talk about final tones. Where am I? Am I ending high? Am I ending low? We talk about rises and falls, peaks and valleys. We talk about steps, like downstepping. We talk about jumps. So all of these different combinations of patterns produce different intentions and meanings and emotions. So I'm going to talk about just two things briefly, just so you can get a taste of it. First is pitch range. Okay, so pitch range is the kind of how low you go and how high you go. So there's physical and personality traits that are related to that. Men have lower pitch ranges than women. Women tend to have higher, and children even higher pitch ranges, right? They talk way up here, right? So that's part of it. We also have personalities. Some people are kind of quiet, shy personalities. They have a fairly narrow pitch range. There's not a lot of extremes in their ups and downs. And then you have personalities like that go, oh my God, you know, they have really wide pitch ranges where they're going to be jumping up and down a lot, right? So that's more personal, right? But we also have some other things. So then the next slide, Tessie, we have basic points that we're going to hit. So everyone has a kind of neutral zone. And then from that neutral zone, we can go down a little bit. We'll go a little bit lower. It's kind of hard to force yourself to go really low. That takes a lot of effort. So we have neutral, a neutral point, a low point, and then we have a high point. And it's the high point that can go a little bit higher, or it can be stretched even really high depending on the emotion that you have. So the next slide kind of shows you that difference. So you see the 2 and the 1 don't really change much, but the 3 can really move up. So we have these kind of differences in pitch range, and Tessie's going to work with you. She has a really fun exercise that kind of explores that difference in pitch range. Am I got a narrow pitch range, or do I have a really wide pitch range? Okay. So the next thing we want to talk briefly about is the points, right? So the general principle is stressed words have pitch focus. And when I mean by pitch focus, they're going to hit those points, the 2, the 3s, the 1s, right? They're going to be at those points. So we have an example sentence here, and we're going to play a little bit with this, right? So today's presentation is about intonation. So today's presentation is about intonation. I have 4 stressed points: day, te, bout, and nay.
Intonation is about intonation.
Right. Okay. Somebody needs to mute. You can mute yourself and repeat with me, but be careful, okay? All right. So we're going to do a couple of things. The first one, I'm going to stay all neutral. All right. Tell me what it sounds like. All right. All right. Today's presentation is about intonation. I'm at the neutral point. I'm not really going up and down. I'm staying at my neutral point. This doesn't really sound human at all, does it? This sounds like it is computer generated. Right. All right. So obviously that's not ideal. Okay. Second version, I'm just going to do all low pitches. All right. So all of my stress words hit the low pitch. Today's presentation is about intonation. I'm going down into the basement. I'm not really very excited about my presentation today. Are you excited that you are here? This would be awful, wouldn't it? How do I sound? Do I sound happy? I don't think so. I sound bored, right? So there's that emotion. So a narrow pitch range, but also all low pitches for the stressed words. Okay, next version, version number 3. Today's presentation is about intonation. I have a lot to say about this presentation. Do you want to hear me talk about it? I'm going to talk like this for 1 hour. How do you feel about that? Would that really please you? I don't think so, right? So you can see I'm hitting high pitch every time. I'm also kind of wide pitch range, but I'm also, all my stressed words are at the high level. So we get this kind of intensity, right? Maybe an intensity that's kind of irritating. We don't really want to listen to that. So all 3 of these versions are not pleasing, right? So what we like to do is have this kind of up and down, right? Sometimes we're hitting high pitches, sometimes we're hitting low, right? So if we do it like this, today's presentation is about intonation, okay? So today's presentation is about intonation. Today's presentation is about intonation, right? So you can hear how my voice is going up and down. I'm hitting these points at the stressed words: day, te, bout, nay, day, te, bout, nay. And everything else between there is kind of being interpolated, right? So this is kind of what we do with intonation, right? So that's a little bit of theory. So just a kind of taste of the theory about intonation. But now I think it's time for Tessie to talk a little bit about how theater can help you get to this point. All right, so it's all yours, Tessie.
Thank you, Barry. And I just want to take a moment and remind you all that you can use the chat box to post questions that you have, any questions relating to admissions, registration for summer or fall. We have TweeFam that can answer them in the chat box. Any questions about pronunciation in our workshop today, we'll be handling those at the end of the workshop with Barry. And as Barry mentioned, intonation is crucial for communication. Right now, I'm going to talk about intonation and its use for meaning, to convey certain meanings, and the potential of confusion if you don't use the right kind of pattern. So I'm going to ask Barry to help me out here. Let's simulate a situation between a professor and a student in the classroom. So the professor is asking this question: is an insulator a conductor of electricity? Student says no, and then
Barry raises his hand.
And so the professor might say, yes, Barry, which indicates that Barry has a question and I am allowing him to ask the question. Now, if we reverse the pattern, as you can see, it's a rising intonation because it is a question. Yes, Barry, did you want to add something? Did you want to ask me something? But if I reverse that pattern, you will get a different type of meaning. So let's try the next slide. Is an insulator a conductor of electricity?
No.
Yes, Barry. And now that reverse pattern with a falling intonation, same exact exchange, but different type of intonation, conveys a different meaning. I am responding to my student saying, yes, correct. This was the correct answer. So imagine if you use the wrong type of intonation pattern, you want to confirm, but instead you ask it like a question. That can cause confusion. Why theater? Theater is a different method, different techniques that we use, but it has so many benefits above and beyond the actual practice of intonation, sounds, and anything pronunciation related. We talked about, and Barry did an excellent job explaining to you how intonation can convey intentions and emotions. Theater allows participants to explore the different types of intonation and intentions that convey certain intentions and a different range of expression and emotion. What we do is we study different scenes from plays. I love theater. I love classical theater. We do a lot of the older plays or even modern plays. We get a lot of material that is really tried and true, but we also use film and TV series. So what we do is we study and analyze how different characters speak and how they convey different types of emotion and how they express their feelings. By doing so, it allows the participants to open up and get in the shoes of someone else, explore the different range for pitch and the different types of sounds that they have problems with. And that in turn builds their confidence. Not to mention that we're having a lot of fun. Theater is just a way for people to bond with one another. My best memories have been when I was in theater and my best friendships from those experiences. So it helps the students build confidence, develop their sense of humor, even analyze and understand others' sense of humor, which is such an important aspect of pragmatic knowledge that we have to develop. And the bigger bonus here is that if you are a teaching assistant or a teacher professor, this technique and this experience can help you improve in your teaching practice period, because you are learning how to feel confident about your communication ability. You have tried different types of expression, and you just develop your personal teaching style. Not to mention that we are not just working with intonation and how you sound, but how you look, your overall presence, your gestures, your facial expressions. We have studied Sir Ian McKellen and how he uses his eyes to convey meaning without any words. And now in Zoom land, this is even more important. We teach like this, and so we have to explore different ways to attract the audience's attention and maintain it. So all in all, theater techniques and generally the practice of theater helps you build your overall communication ability. Barry mentioned earlier pitch range. Okay, so now this kind of visual might help you understand a little bit or get a better sense of how narrow and how wide the pitch range can get. Of course, it is a personal style, but we do want to explore the different range or pitch ranges so that we can figure out our personal style and our comfort zone. I'd like to do a little experiment or demonstration with you with a simple but happy and joyful occasion of marriage. So Barry is going to help me demonstrate these 4 types of reactions, of expressions, of emotion, okay? And I would like you to put in the chat which one you think we are demonstrating. Now, Barry is going to have the same sentiment, whatever he chooses, however he chooses to express this. But my version, my reactions will be different each time. And so feel free to put it in the chat which one it is. You can do the color if you'd like. I think it might be easier and faster. Yeah. Okay, Barry, let's do it.
All right. Hey, Tessie, Rachel's getting married.
Excuse me, what? Okay, what color do you think is the correct reaction? Color. Very good. It is yellow.
Right.
Obviously, you could also see it in my face. I came close. Gestures are important, but I could have just said it like this. What? Oh, really? Excuse me, what? Right? And even if you're not listening, you can hear my range is really like a very wide range right now, right? And in the points that Barry mentioned earlier, it's a higher range right there that I'm hitting because I'm so excited. Okay, let's do it again.
Okay. Hey, Tessie, Rachel's getting married.
Excuse me. What color am I now? Yes, purple. I like the abbreviation of purple into R. I love that.
Oh no, that might have been red.
Oh, okay. I thought I thought that was like, wait. I'm expecting purple, guys. Okay. So let's try this again. Let me see if we can differentiate between being upset and being disappointed. But let me say this. That's why I love theater, because different audience members can have a different reaction and evaluation of what's happening. I mean, we all watch movies and talk about them with our friends, and we all have a different, we say, you know, Rachel was fantastic. She loves him. She loves him. And then your friend says, no, I didn't get that. Are you serious? I think she hates him. So the point is that you can react to those emotions, definitely we are in a higher or a wider range of expression. So let me try this again.
Okay.
Maybe my acting skills need help. Okay.
There you go.
I'll do purple. Let's try it.
All right, here we go. Hey, Tessie, Rachel's getting married.
What? What? Okay, if you get, I'm disappointed.
All right.
All right, now let's do another one.
The sigh helped there.
The sigh helps. All right, let's do another one.
Okay. Hey, Tessie, Rachel's getting married.
Excuse me, what? What? Blue, yes, thank you. Okay, and let's do one more.
Hey, Tessie, Rachel's getting married.
Excuse me, what? Now, do you see the difference between the red and the disappointment earlier? When I'm disappointed, usually we feel this low energy, right? Like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I'm just like, no, right? But when you're upset, yeah, the narrow range. But when you're upset, you have a wider range of emotion. And you can have a lot of ups and downs, but you have a wider range of emotion. Okay. So here, I just want to kind of recap a little bit of the intensity you see usually in a wider range. And why is this important to practice with theater or any kind of class you're taking? Because you want to explore feeling comfortable in your expressions. Now, you may not get to that intensity in your classes if you're teaching, but you do want to be comfortable exploring the different movements of intonation so that you can narrow it down to where you feel comfortable. We have, of course, different statements that happen to be in the blue zone, which is the average mid range. And I would kind of group boredom, disappointment. Barry earlier demonstrated those different versions really wonderfully. And then you could see that the lower range is also with lower energy usually. And definitely we do not want this range when we're teaching, okay? So if you feel that or if you are told that your intonation or delivery is a little monotone, exercises like these can help you increase and stretch your range. So let's practice, you guys. This is your turn, okay? I am going to ask you to practice this. So you will have to unmute, and I will ask volunteers to participate. I'm gonna give you, and I'm gonna help you here, I'm gonna give you 3 or 4 actually, cards with different types of expression. And I would like for you to try and portray each one. So maybe we'll have 2 volunteers take happy, another 2 upset, shocked, disappointed, etc. Now remember, it can be interpreted differently, and that's pretty much okay, kind of like what happened earlier. So don't be shy about this. Let's practice this short exchange. How many of you would like to volunteer? Let me see if I can open up my, Barry, help me, because I do have the gallery view, but I may not. So can you raise your hand or unmute and tell me, I want to do this? Who would like to practice? Now, let me just say this. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Glenda. All right, I have one. Let me just remind you guys that is the benefit of theater as well, and being in a pronunciation class with Barry. He does that too. He does a lot of practice sessions where students need to communicate and engage, because that's how we learn and that's how you improve. Now, you may not be here to improve your pronunciation, but to kind of understand a little bit how your students are feeling or what they need to be doing. You're welcome to help us practice, all right? Whoever is here, please join us. So Glenda needs a partner. Who will be her partner? Let's see. Who is Glenda's partner?
I can help.
Oh, wonderful. Is it, okay, Peng and Glenda, love it. Did I pronounce your name?
Oh, it's Pung. So it will be more like P-U-N-G or P-O-N-G. So
Yeah.
that's how.
Great, good. All right, I have Glenda and Peng, and do I have another pair that can help us out today?
Say again, please.
One more pair. So Glenda, you're paired up with Peng, okay?
Oh,
You two?
Gongyu, I think has raised her hand. Yeah.
Oh, good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Gongyu, good. And anybody else?
Me.
And Dinglu, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so Glenda and Peng, Dinglu, and I can see your name now, but great. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Glenda and Peng. You guys can unmute. Can you pick one of the cards? Let's pick first and see, or we could do it either way. We can, you can surprise us, but I think I would like to try one that we know which one you're doing. Okay, let's try one. So which one would you like to try? Happy?
Upset?
Upset. Okay, now you guys are both upset, all right, about this. All right, so let's do this. Glenda, you can be A or B, whichever you guys want, whichever role. And let's do it.
Okay, I can be A.
Okay, Glenda's A and Peng, you may unmute. Very good. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Rachel is getting married.
Excuse me, what?
Yes, you didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Okay, great. So now you don't seem happy at all. Definitely, right? In theater, what I would ask you to do next would be what you guys experienced with me earlier. Upset and disappointed can be very close, right? So what I would ask you is, listen, now you're super upset. You are angry because, I don't know, you used to date Rachel.
Exes.
What was that?
They're marrying your exes.
Yeah, I just used to date Rachel, okay? So you're exactly. So, oh, you know what? That's it. We're gonna crash that wedding. We're gonna ruin this wedding. So I need attitude, okay? I need attitude. So let's try one more time right now. Glenda, you are telling him the news, and I want you to really be angry when you say the word married. Remember, the range is very wide.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Rachel is getting married.
Excuse me, what?
Yes, you didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Very good.
Yeah,
This
very
is
good.
fabulous. You see,
Yeah.
I getting married, that was incredible because that was just when I knew Glenda is not happy with this. Okay, fabulous, Peng and Glenda. Let's have another demonstration from the other two participants here. Are you guys ready to unmute? And now this time, maybe we can guess. So let's see.
With Dinglu and Gung Yu, right?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Right.
So I think we can guess. Now, Dinglu, you pick one for yourself, and the other person picks one for himself. You, excuse me.
Oh,
do
different
not-
emotions.
Different emotions. So we don't know which one is which. So we're gonna guess for Dinglu, and we're gonna guess for, I can't see his name.
Rao, you can call me Rao.
Peng Yu. Gotcha. I see it. All right. So maybe Dinglu, who do you want to be? Which role?
I will choose A.
Okay. So Gongyu, you are B. Pick
Mhm.
your card and let's see if we can guess it.
Richard is getting married.
Excuse me, what?
Yes, you didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I have a guess. Let's put our guesses in the
That
chat.
was pretty good.
That
Yeah.
was really good. Let's put our guesses in the chat. I wonder. Okay, so let's see. What do you think the card is? Matching card is for Dinglu. A. Okay, that's what I would say too. I would say shocked. I would say yellow. Is that correct, Dinglu?
Yes, I'm shocked.
Yes, you got it. All right. And notice it's not because he was yelling it, all right? It's not volume that we're talking about here. It's intonation range.
Mhm.
All right, and let's see the other one, the other card. What do you guys think?
I would say
Gyeonggu, yeah, with purple. I see purple. That's what I would say too. What do you guys, the rest of you think? You want to put in the chat? Do you have maybe upset? So again, the purple and the red. So some people say purple, some people say upset. What was it, Gyeonggu?
I was trying to be shocked, actually.
oh.
Okay, good. So I love that. This is what I love when that happens in theater, because that's when you now analyze ways to convey that emotion. If I felt it was disappointment, or maybe even you're upset, but you want to be shocked, then you're going to have to learn how to stretch yourself and your range to convey that meaning. So those are the things that we practice. And trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy for native speakers in acting to convey emotion. And there's so many layers of expression that you need to be practicing. But building and raising your awareness of those different layers is the first phase. And of course, the second is to be practicing everything. All right, so I think that concludes my portion of the presentation. And now we are going to open it up for questions. And let me add to the spotlight here my colleague Barry.
Can you spotlight more than one?
Yes, I'm adding, I believe we're both spotlighted right now.
Oh, I didn't think you could spotlight more than one person. Sorry.
And I forgot to spotlight my pairs earlier. Thank you, Twee, for reminding me, but I didn't, I missed that opportunity. Okay, so if you want to unmute and ask questions, feel free. Obviously, you can use the chat as well.
So there's a question in the chat box related to registering for a summer class. So Twee, are you able to answer that verbally, or would you rather chat it in?
I can answer it verbally.
Okay,
Students
great.
can register for the class on web registration. So how you would register for your regular classes, and there's a tab in the search, you can just type in ALI. And if you want to meet with me, you're welcome to email Ask ALI and set up an appointment if you have any additional questions or need help with registering.
I should add, if you're interested in the pronunciation classes this summer, Tessie and I are both up on the books. And so, you know, you can choose by time or you can choose by style, right? If you want to kind of take this really fun theatrical look at it, I, strongly recommend registering for Tessie's section. If the time works out for me and you kind of like the more kind of nitty gritty stuff, then I'm happy to have you in my class as well.
Aries our morning person, so his class is in the morning.
I'm
I
always
am
in the morning.
the
I
night
would have
owl.
classes at 7 a.m. if I could.
I'm a true theater person. I operate better in the evening. So yeah, obviously you can choose. And what I would say is that pronunciation is an ongoing approach to improving your communication skills and your ability. I've had students in my class that are near native and yet they wanted to take the class, and I know Barry can say the same, because they wanted to feel more confidence, build their confidence in their communication ability. So you can always repeat a class, take the morning class with Barry this summer and take the pronunciation theater class in the fall. You can take them concurrently if you want to spend, a
lot of time.
But it is an intense experience over the summer, which to me is the best type of way to improve in your pronunciation, because it's daily. Every day you have something that you are working on and you're performing. In my class, where you will be performing, so we'll have a showcase. You select your monologue, you select your the piece that you're going to be doing. We do monologues, but we also do scenes, and then we performed a one act last year, The Odd Couple by Neil Simon. So what happens is you work on it daily, and that is how you build habit. Barry has, and Barry, you can talk more about your classes, but I know that you drill them to a point where they are reforming new habits. And that's the problem with many speakers have, that they have developed those habits that you almost feel like you're fossilized, But the more you work on it, you train your muscles, the more improvement you'll see.
So here's a question. Can you suggest some basic pronunciation exercises for improving on your own? Yeah, this is a really good question. A couple of things. It depends what you want to focus on, for one thing. So some things like vowel formation and consonant formation are very muscle memory intense, right? So the difference between e, a, o, these are really slight differences in your tongue position, which are hard to develop. So learning to kind of differentiate between sounds and really get that muscle memory developed is hard. And it takes a lot of practice, just like learning basketball, learning to play the piano takes a lot of practice, because you have to develop muscle memory.
And it takes a coach, if I may add, because you can learn the piano on your own and play basketball, but once you have a coach who can evaluate your progress, evaluate your performance and your practice, and help you fine tune, that's when you actually see improvement. I've had so many students that you look at light bulb goes on and they say, oh my gosh, I can hear it. A lot of the problems in pronunciation have to do with not being able to distinguish between sounds. That's phase one. Students who are intermixing L and R or P and F or th and s, and then just, they cannot hear the difference. So we tell them it's different, it sounds different, but they can't hear it. So what we do with Barry, we train them how to first understand and listen to the difference, be able to differentiate. That's phase one. Then comes production, where you now have to produce it consistently. So it's a journey.
Mhm.
It's a fun journey, but it is a journey, and you do need to have supplies and tools and a coach to help you along the way.
Now, having said that, the other extreme would be like I had a Brazilian student one year and he came to my class and I thought he was American. And I said, I'm sorry, Americans can't take the class. He says, no, I'm Brazilian. I said, oh, well, you obviously studied in America. You know, no, I've only been here for 3 months. Well, did you go to an American school in Brazil? Nope, I didn't. So why do you sound American? Was my question. And he said, I'm addicted to American TV. I watch TV all the time and I just listen and I repeat, listen, repeat, listen, repeat. So for some people who have really good ears, they're able to kind of do a lot on their own just by mimicking.
Right.
I'm not that kind of person. I like to have theory, reason, knowledge that I can apply. But learners are different. You know, I have a Japanese friend who's taught himself 10 languages, basically by watching TV dramas in different languages. I couldn't do it, but he can. So
Yeah.
you have to kind of match your learning style too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I do want to ask, why did he come to your class? We do have students who, like I said, their speech pattern sounds like, you know, near native North American English, but they do need to build their confidence. They do need to maybe even improve their teaching style. I have a student this semester who is, again, I felt the same way. Why are you in the class? Volunteer. But he's a professor, or he teaches. So he wanted to improve his intonation because he felt that he sounded a little boring, or maybe students, he wanted to learn how to get the students excited and maintain their attention. So these are the things that we can do to train our delivery, our expression, how we use speech when we are giving lectures, when we're giving presentations, when we're teaching. Going and ordering at Starbucks, you know, that's a day-to-day use of the language, but teaching and maintaining the attention of 300 students on Zoom is a different story. So there are a lot of things that we can be working on that have to do with pronunciation, but the outcome is it affects your day-to-day academic and professional practice.
Thank you, Barry and Tessie and Twee and Sam, for all your help. A great session. And yes, do check out the activities. We not only have the conversation groups nowadays, we have conversation partners for a small fee. We also have a book club and we have a writing lab. Many of you may know this, but Sam and our regular office manager have put a lot of great activities together, and that's a great way also to get to know people at extremely low cost of zero in most cases. So please join, please find out and join our newsletter as well. Okay. Thank you.